come up with a percentage and lock that percentage in, and then see that it works, and when it does, and figure out no deductions, just a flat
just gutting the
percentage.
state, the North Carolina Department of Revenue's
everything.
operations, and saying just go make North Carolina a flat tax.
Whatever
state.
you file AGI federally, this is what you owe in a flat state tax. A one-page form, no deductions, boom, here it is. I ask businesses, and there's a lot of business, we have certain deductions, and this is favorable, that's favorable. But you know what, Tom? If we could just have a flat, this is it, this is what it's going to be, this is what it is now, we're going to lock this in with a constitutional amendment that it never goes up, boom, here it is. I would like this. I mean, I find business, it would save me X hundreds of dollars a year or thousands of dollars a year to do my state forms on and on and on. If that sounds simple, and simple ideas sometimes are naive. And I've asked everybody, is this naive? Does this not work? Is this stupid? Is there something crazy about it? I have yet to have anybody say, and I've talked, like I said, the folks at Civitas, I've spoken with my local accountants all around New Hanover County, large, medium, small firms. You know, I've spoken with bankers, I've spoken with business people, builders, developers, small business folks like me. I mean, I can't find anybody who says that's unworkable, that's silly, that's just too simple. And then what would happen is the good folks, I say that, the Department of Revenue employees, they would have a whole lot less to do.
They would. It would be simpler.
They could spend their time literally auditing the things they need to, like sales tax compliance. They could audit compliance. And then we could reduce their numbers significantly. And it would be a one-page form.
We're going to continue this discussion. Again, Senator Goolsby,
and I want to hear from
talking
people.
About possibly talking about this in this short session from an idea standpoint?
I'm starting it right now. In fact, I was up in Raleigh yesterday for my JPS meeting. I tasked my legislative assistant, Joe Kaiser, to start bringing in the team over at Fiscal Research, and bill drafting, to start drafting this up, to start running the numbers, seeing what the percentage needs to be to bring into the state coffers the money that we currently have, and to literally start doing this. And why in the world would we not? If we can do this in North Carolina, folks, it can go to states all around the nation, and on top of that, it can be the model for what we need to do at the federal level to take politics out of all this taxation, set a flat national tax like we've done in North Carolina if we're able to do this, and say this is the way it needs to be. And what will the competitiveness, what will that do for North Carolina competitively?
Because every company can look out there and instantly know.
Boom, here it is. North Carolina has a low flat tax. Bam, there it is. That's all you pay. And then we can work on getting rid of the corporate income tax, and maybe part of it will be get rid of the corporate income tax. Figure out a corporate income tax.
What will that do to all those incentive programs, though, Tom?
Well, the incentive programs, folks, equal the corporate income tax.
William Lee Act, Rural Center.
We could run all
Golden
that money
Leaf.
through. We could. Hey, there's a whole plan there.
There we go. Much more to go. Tom Goolsby, Senator Tom Goolsby, continuing our discussion here on the Big Talker FM. Right now, Joe Catanacci, traffic and weather. What's going on, boys? We were just talking about one of my favorite movies in the break, Brazil. For those of you who didn't know it, some folks from Monty Python did a very, very terrifying 1984 type movie.
Yeah, you want to see a good movie this weekend? Go get Brazil.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with Brazil.
It doesn't.
It's sort of It's an updated sort of 1984
George Orwellian Brave New World type thing.
Nightmarish kind of movie, but it's good. It's a comedy.
It's well done.
It's a dark comedy.
It's very
Jonathan
dark.
Pryce is in it. It's a good movie, but those of you conservatives out there who have read 1984 and want to update yourself on it, great movie. I recommend it for your weekend viewing.
The interesting thing about that
is this like a new segment? This is Goolsby movie picks.
The Goolsby movie picks. Yeah, no, not going to do that yet. We did right now.
Goolsby
Mark, we're going to try to go to you.
Picks.
I'm going to give you another chance here. I hope you are at your phone. Mark, welcome to the program. You have a comment or something for our guest?
I do. Mr. Goolsby, couple of things. Number one, are you guys ever going to fix the forced annexation bill to make the default answer no?
Yes, if you would give money to Republican candidates this go round and get us 4 more in the House, you can count on it. That way we're veto-proof, my friend.
That brings up the point I'm going to make after the next comment, which is you were talking about the state tax.
Yes.
Pennsylvania.
Uh-huh.
That's what they do. 2.5%, 2.5%, 2.75% straight off the adjusted gross.
Are there any deductions?
Other than your standard deduction, which is part of your adjusted gross, it's all part of the same thing.
Okay, now my whole thing
they just
would
have
be,
really high property taxes.
Once you get to the adjusted gross income federally, and again, to me that's all I want. When you get that federal number, boom, that is it. North Carolina tax is based on that. Period. There is no deductions. There are no credits. There is nothing, and then we have to lock that into law. With an amendment, constitutional amendment, it will never increase. It will never, boom, that is it. There will never be a deduction to it. There will never be an addition to it. There will never be a credit. It will, cause this is where the politicians play politics, is they do all this and then they say, well, if you happen to put a solar panel on your house, we're going to give you a $200. Then, well, wait a minute. What if I get a car that runs on natural gas? Well, we're going to give you a $300, and it becomes a whole nother political football.
Right. Well, here's the other one, and this is a message for all of the people in North Carolina, in New Hanover County, and anybody else listening. In conjunction with what you just said about give the Republicans money, I don't know if anybody's been paying attention. Wake County, the Republicans just lost, or I should say the Conservatives just lost.
They got slaughtered.
Their majority in Wake County.
Wait. Now, they didn't wait. No, Mark. They didn't lose it. They lost 4 of the 5 elections, but it's a 9-member or 7-member board. Anyway. Yeah. But there's one runoff that will determine. Yeah.
Well, the one swing vote in there is more of a rhino than anything.
Yeah, but you've got a runoff. You've got a runoff election.
Well, we'll see what happens. What's going to end up being funny is they're already chomping at the bit to unwind the past 2 years' policies.
Oh, yes.
Saved over $111 million. And all of this is because they got rid of that stupid, idiotic busing and a whole lot of this other crap that the elitists decide is good for you. And they've opened up a whole lot of choice, and these guys are chomping at the bit to unwind that, take away your choice, and they've been winning these elections because of one thing. People listen carefully. Don't fall prey to the stupid emotional crap. Oh, they're extremists. Oh, yeah, living within your means is extreme. Oh, gee, really? That's what they did. The Republicans were talking about the fact. The Democrats were all harping on emotion.
Yeah.
And people need to wake up and start listening to the actual message. What is significant here? What's real? And what's just crap?
Well, Mark, thanks for the call, man.
Yes.
And that kind of is a good segue. 24 people showed up for the Occupy Wall Street movement in Fayetteville yesterday. They're planning to have a big one on the state grounds. The state capitol's only letting them have a couple hours. They'd like to live there, like they're doing in New York. Not going to happen. What do you make of this movement, Tom? I mean, I hope it goes on. I hope the Occupy Wall Street continues to be out there during the election next year so we can see what they're really all about.
Well, it's interesting because there's a lot of good people that are very concerned about. The banker bailouts, all the things that have been going on, the fact that the answer appears to be just print more money and bail out more banks, and I understand people's pain. I also understand that the left is trying to co-opt all of these types of things. You MoveOn.org, go to their website, see what they're putting out. It's really interesting, and it's so interesting to me that George Soros, the ultimate insider, an
insider in the Wall Street tradition and the oil money stuff,
is funding the groups that are up there protesting.
That are protesting the 1%.
Now, what does that tell you, folks?
In fact, they walked right by his home to go protest the Koch brother.
Yes. And didn't protest Soros.
They walked right by Soros' house, went to the Koch brothers' house. And
now, interesting.
That's just
so. And do you read about any of that in the New York Times or in your local papers or what? It's fascinating to see. The truth is something that is hard to find. It's like that little golden nugget you have to mine for. It's very, very fascinating to me. But I would really appreciate feedback from the public on this whole idea of a flat income tax in North Carolina just based on federal AGI.
Do you think you have now? See, that is a rather bold move. And bold moves are often, your fellow senators and House members are reticent to make such bold. That's very bold. Do you believe there is support to structurally alter the tax code in North Carolina?
if we do it the way that we saw certain things done, like the fight for annexation.
Right.
I mean, folks, you have no, just that caller.
But
many
people, here's what many people say.
Right.
In the fight for annexation, we didn't get it removed. We got a voter protest done.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if you go to the fight for the flat tax, you don't get it. You could end up with a hybridized system that's actually worse, not better.
Which we can't vote for.
Okay.
I mean, what we can't do that. I mean, that's a completely different thing. Like, so, okay, tort reform, medical malpractice reform, workers' comp reform.
Final question. Drug testing welfare recipients. Tom Tillis suggested this. It's what's happening in Florida. If you're going to be on the doles, if you're going to get government money.
I talked about this during my campaign.
You agree with it, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, it was one of my campaign issues. I talked about it.
Well, I mean, this thing, the left is screaming, the ACLU screaming, oh, no. But in Florida, it looks like it's saving millions of dollars.
It will.
And it would save money here. I mean,
in fact,
I want to be clear. Tom Goolsby supports.
In fact, do you know who first suggested that to me? Pat Payne at Medical Insurance Assistance. Pat Payne.
Right.
She suggested that. I had a meeting with her early in my campaign. She had a lot of suggestions about how to save money in the state system, what she sees every day, monitoring healthcare bills and all the other stuff. Pat Payne, local businesswoman, she suggested that to me, and that was part of my campaign. I mean,
Are we likely to see that come up in the next session?
Well, let's see if the Speaker of the House wants that. Maybe.
Tom Goolsby, Senator Thom Goolsby, appreciate you being a part of our program. Look forward to having you in soon, and thank you for taking the time. And
thanks, Chad. Always.
4th hour, getting ready to be underway here at the Big Talker FM. Stay with us. Much more to go.